Welcome to Beaded Doilies by Shell. In this video, we are working on a series of faceted bead art letter squares. In this video, we will be working on the B. You'll want about 3 feet of string if you're using the faceted beads. And the colors I'm going to be using for this video are midnight blue and light blue. Now, when doing a faceted bead art pattern, I recommend starting at the bottom right. So we're going to start right here. So you take your start bead, which is the lighter color, and you put that on either string. And then you'll add left and right 1 bead each. Both are the light color. So we add 1 to the left and 1 to the right. And then you will cross with a light color with both strings. So you put it on one and then you'll cross with the other. And then bring that down. And there are your first 4 beads. Now I'm going to take my right string and I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 beads to it. That's the order you want to add them. So they are all light blue. Now these you will let come down to your other 4 beads. Then you'll take the first bead, you'll go through it again in the same direction you went through it the first time. And now we have our 2 squares. Keep the same string you've been working with in your hand. Now you're going to add 1 and then you're going to cross with 1. So we want 1 dark color. And then we'll take both of our strings and cross with a light color. And there we have our first row here on the side, and then our second row we're working on here. Now you want to take the string that's on the same side as your first row, which is the first 4 squares, and you're going to add 1, 2, and then you're going to cross. So we need 2 light colors. And then we're going to cross with a dark color. And here are your first 2 rows. Then you want the string that is coming towards the end of your row, and you're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first 2 will be dark, and then the second 2 will be light. Let them come down, then you find that first one again, go through it in the same direction you went through it the first time. have your first 4 beads for this row. Now I like to keep my finished rows to the right, and the rows I'm working the row I'm working on down. Then I take my 2 strings, bring them up. We've added these 4, and now we're going to add 1 and cross 1. So both are light, so we will add a light one and cross a light one. And now, after we've added these 2 beads, we want to go through a connecting bead, which is the bead on the side of our previous row. And then we will again add 1 and cross. And like I said, I keep my finished rows to the right. And I add to the left, which we need a light color. And then we're going to cross with a dark color. And then we go through our next connecting bead here, the bead on the side of our previous row. And now we're going to add 1 and cross. So we add a light and we cross with a light. That adds these 2. And now we're going to take the string that is coming in towards our finished rows, and we're going to add 1, 2, and then cross. So we add 1, 2, and then we cross. And that finishes that row. Now we want the string that's coming out towards the end of our row. And we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4. And this time they're all light. So we add 1, 2, 3, 4. And we find the first one again, go through it in the same direction, and there we have the first 4 beads of this row. Turn so our work is to the right. Take our string and bring it up. And now we're going to add 1 and cross, so we want to add a light color. Cross with a dark color. Then we want to go through the side bead to connect our row to the previous row. And now we'll add and cross. Then go through our connecting bead. Then we add and cross. So we want a dark color, and we're going to cross with a light color. Then we go through the next connecting bead. And then we add and cross. Both are dark this time. Oops. And then we go to the side connecting bead. And we add and cross. So we add a light color and we cross a light color. Now there's no more connecting beads, and we've come to the last 3 on this row. So we want the string that's coming in towards our finished rows. And now our next row is what I call shorter. So we're going to do this corner differently than we've done so far. So we're going to add 1, 2, 3. So we'll add 3 beads to our string. Then we will go through this top bead on our row. And there we have the last 3 beads of our row. Now we want to go through this bead on the previous circle away from the beads we just added, using the same string, and then we want to go out so that we're back out where our other string is coming out. Now both of our strings are on either side of this bead here, so we are going to cross this bead. So we go through one side, take our other string, go through the other side, and pull tight. And now we are ready to begin our next row. We want the string coming towards the shorter end of our row. And we're going to add 1, 2, and cross. So we need 2 light colors. And we're going to cross with a light color. Now make sure your finished work is to your right. Go through your connecting bead here. And you'll add one and then cross one. So we're going to add a light color, and then we're going to cross with a dark color. Now we'll go through our next connecting bead. Then we will add and cross. We'll add with a dark and cross with a light. Then go through our next connecting bead. Then we will add and cross, this time both dark. go through our connecting bead. And we've come to the last two on this row, so you're going to want the string that you went through your connecting bead with, and you're going to add both of these in this order. So we want two light colors. Then we're going to go through the bead that our other string is coming out of towards our finished rows. Then we're going to go down away from the beads we just added and then back out. And then we cross the bead that's in between our strings. Now we want the string that's coming towards the shorter end of our row. We're going to add 1, 2, and then we're going to cross. So that's two light colors. And a dark color. Remember to go through your connecting bead. Then you're going to add and cross both light colors. So we add and then cross. Then we go to the connecting bead. And we've come to our last two, so we're going to use the string that went through the connecting bead. And we're going to add 1, 2 to it. So they're both light colored. Then we will go through the bead our other string is coming out of. Then we'll go down away from the beads we just added. And then back out. And then we will cross this bead that's in between our two strings. Now, as I am planning to use this square to make a cube in one of my videos, I am going to tie the knot inside this bead instead of the last bead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the longer of my two strings and I'm going to add my last 3 beads to it. 1, 2, 3. If color matters, if this area you want to make sure which direction, so actually I would add these in the opposite direction because the string is coming out this side. But I'm going to add the last 3 beads. Oops, I'm in trouble here. Okay, now I'm going to tie my knot. You don't want to pull tight, you just want to do a knot, bring it down, and then do a double overhand knot. Bring it down, but don't pull tight. Then the bead you want to hide it inside of, which we're going to hide it inside this bead here. We're going to slip our 1 string closest to it inside that bead. Then we're going to pull our knot inside the bead and then pull tight. And there we've hidden our knot inside this bead right here. And then we're going to thread through 2 center beads. So we thread through 1 bead on each side and then we cross. That's our center bead. We cross and then again we go through a bead on each side and we cross, and this just makes it so your string is not so close to the knot that it might work itself loose. And then once you've gone 2 circles away from where your knot is, then you will clip off the excess. And there you have a letter B square. And you'll want to save these, and you can go to this video and you can string your squares together. Well, I hope to see you there.